welcome to another episode of Brighture podcast. Today we will be talking about the ESL industry in the Philippines, particularly here in Cebu. And I am joined by two teachers who have been in this industry for more than a decade. So let's get to know them more. Let's start with the man at my right. Yes, right.
Do I need to introduce myself?
Yes, he's already a regular, so I guess many of you already know him. But for those who don't know, yes, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, anyway, I'm Ray. So, I
This
love
is
food.
your what? This is your fourth
Yeah.
podcast, right?
Yeah, that's why I love food and I love to attend in a podcast.
Podcast, yes. He's a regular now. Thank you, Saray. And with let's go to the woman besides Saray, who is a first-timer. Welcome to the podcast.
Okay, thank you, Ray. I'm Liza, by the way, and I love anime. Currently, I'm following Spy Family and Kami Can't Communicate. So,
Do you know?
Okay. Noted, Miss Liz.
Okay.
Noted, Miss Liz. We're still stuck at the Sailor Moon Dragon Ball era, so I don't know the new ones. Anyways,
it's
ESL
good. It's
industry.
good. It's not Voltus 5.
Oh yeah, we're not.
Partly.
Anyways, speaking or going back to the main topic, ESL industry, as I was saying, let's start first with defining what ESL first, or what ESL is. So what does it mean?
Okay, so ESL stands for English as Second Language.
So what happens, or what do we do as teachers?
So basically, we give instructions to students who want to learn about the language. And why it's called the second language, I don't know. Or maybe because it's the universal language in the world. I guess.
And our students are mostly, if not all,
Japanese.
No. Yeah, non-native.
non-native
Native,
speakers.
yes. Yeah,
So Japanese, Koreans, Russians, Chinese, Taiwanese, all those nationalities that don't have English as their first language.
Sure.
Right? Okay. Now, I said a while ago that you've been in this industry for more than a decade, but could we specify how many years is that? So how long is how long? Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Ray, please.
I'm afraid to say to answer the question. Yeah, anyway, I've been in the industry for 12 years now. Just a decade.
Congrats. 12 years.
More than a
Liza?
decade. Well, I'm very poor with math. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
But I started in 2004.
2004. So guys,
You do the math.
you do the math. You're better at math. That's why we are ESL teachers,
Yeah.
right? So what are the qualifications then of being an ESL teacher? I think the qualifications have changed over time, especially now. So let's start with the early 2000s. What were the
Why are you looking at me? Oh, okay.
2004?
Okay, so the qualification actually is not that really, like you don't need to be a teacher or an English major or a education major. You don't need to, as long as you speak good English.
Then that's fine.
Then that's fine. But it started actually like as a tutorial service,
Yeah.
not necessarily there's an
school.
institution. Yeah, there's school. I started as a tutor. That's it. Yes. So I guess the qualification is not that really,
Strict.
Yeah.
So that's for like tutorial services, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's how I started in this industry as well, as a tutor
okay.
back in 2010. So it's exactly what Liza said. You don't need a degree to teach English. If you're good at English, then you can teach. Because besides, our students at that time were kids.
Yeah, it's
so
true.
it's easy to teach kids at that time. How about you, Ray?
In my case, it started 2009, but it was already like an institution. So yeah, during that time, the qualifications were quite demanding. Already,
In schools, right?
yeah, in school.
Institutions.
You should have a degree. Though, as what Miss Liza said, there is no specification like you have to be an education graduate. You don't need that as long as you can communicate in English. So that's it.
Okay. So what made you decide to be in this industry? Are you both education graduates? Because I'm not.
I am.
You are.
I'm communication major.
Communication
Yeah,
major.
I'm a
Okay.
communications major.
So we have different courses.
Yes,
Bachelor's
yes, we do.
degree, right? So what made you decide to be an ESL teacher then at that time?
Hey, in my case, it was very funny because when I was still a student, I never imagined myself to be in this industry. I could remember that I told myself that I will never apply in the ESL industry because as I heard when this industry started, there's no strict qualification, so anyone can enter as long as you can communicate in English. But when I graduated and then after 2 months, I actually first I promised to take a rest after studying, from elementary until college. So I said like maybe I could take a rest for 2 years, no job. But no, after 2 months I got bored, and then
2 years become 2 months.
yeah, true. I got bored, and then I had no money. And I was shy to ask money from my parents because I already graduated.
Yeah.
So I told myself to apply, and during that time, 2009, that's the start of the booming of the ESL industry. So yeah, I just went there and then I tried, and fortunately I passed. And then out of 30, I think 30 or 35 applicants, and then I was hired as first is as a trainee. And then we're around 20 plus something teachers, and then only 9 of us got hired.
Wow.
So that's the start of my ESL journey, and then I learned to love the industry.
How about you?
Well, like I said, I started in 2004 as a tutor. But then one of my best friends actually told me that, why are you just wasting your time being a tutor? Like, you need to go to, because like when tutoring, you need to go to the house of the student.
Yeah.
Or you need to go to a resort. Yes.
Where they are staying.
Yes. And the pay also is not permanent. So one of my best friends told me, why don't you try applying in an institution, a regular school, because you'll be paid regularly. Yes. And you don't need to be like going to it would be decent because you'll be going to the school. Yeah, like you don't need to wear like slippers because or something like that. Yes.
It's more
decent looking.
Yeah, it's more decent, right?
Yeah,
It's
yes.
more formal to be part of an
True.
institution.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
So what were sorry. You said and.
Yeah. So just to add, because like I said, the qualification actually of being a tutor is not actually that strict, right?
Yes.
But when I started in a regular school, they trained me
in race.
yeah, like race experience. So they give trainings, and then of course the curriculum. They also have a set of curriculum. So it's like regular school. Yeah, unlike being a tutor, you're just like they would just show you the book that you're gonna study the book, and then you guide the student or something like that.
Yes.
So
True. So what challenges did you experience back then?
me, okay. Well, there are with the kids actually, with the kids, and of course with the younger ones, with the younger ones. They're very respectable. They respect me because they really see me as sensei, a teacher.
A teacher.
Yes. But for those who are like like professionals already, and they already have like learned English back in their home country, so they are condescending. They're condescending. And what's actually like funny is, like when we are in front of our students, we don't have accents, but they hear us outside class, like having fun with their colleagues, and we speak English, but like
with an Filipino.
Filipino
accent,
yes,
yeah.
the Filipino accent, and then of course with the Filipinisms. So so these condescending students, they thought that they're just joking, or they don't think of it as they don't think as ESL is a, what do you call that, a
Serious
a
job.
serious job or something. So that's actually the challenge there. Yes.
How about you, Ray?
In my case, because even though Filipinos are good in English mostly, and because we learn English in school, but we are not that very technical in terms of grammar.
True.
So when I started, and ESL industry is very technical in terms of grammar.
Yeah.
And most of the students, if not all, they are very good in grammar more than Filipinos.
True.
So
Yeah.
that's why in the training, that's the focus. So I struggled a lot in learning how to explain in grammar. In our case, we know that the sentence is correct or not, but we cannot explain why.
Yeah.
That's the biggest challenge for me. Yeah, the technicals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they are very technical, so that's why I really need to learn. I really thought that I will not get the job during that time. First I was given a chance. So luckily, another thing is like building the relationship. That's another thing, because in my case, when I started working as an ESL teacher, maybe I was around 20. And then my students were also at the same age.
Same age,
Yeah, so we
okay.
have same interest, we have same likes, and in the ESL curriculum, we have this different subjects like talk.
Yes.
We have this conversation subject. So in that case, you can share your likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
You have common likes and dislikes, something like that. And because of that, you will be able to make friendship or relationship. And the hardest thing is saying goodbye.
It's true.
Right? So I could still remember my first batch of students after they graduated. We stayed in the fifth floor the week after the graduation, and the fifth floor, that floor was very silent because all of us were very, very sad.
Yeah.
And our supervisor had to call us and had to call a meeting and then explain to us that you have to learn the reality that they will go back to their countries because they are not in the Philippines. So better not to get too attached to your students because that's the hardest part.
It's like having a whirlwind romance of some sort.
Yeah.
A summer
Sort of,
fling.
yes.
Especially in my case, because in that school we have this parent teacher. So I was a father teacher with maybe
Your
with,
students.
Yeah, three students. So we are very close. We go out sometimes during weekends. I brought them in our house.
Yeah.
Something like that. So we build up relationship.
Yeah, so that's the thing. We're not just teachers, but we are friends as well
It's
to
true.
them,
It's true.
right?
Because I remembered I also, like, within a year of my of teaching, okay, I cried. Because you know how emotional I am. So I cried.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
within
the
a year.
hardest-
Within a year. Yes.
Hardest part. And I could still remember, I just want to share the very funny thing. I had to resign to that
First company?
Yeah, first company. And when my daughter, we call it daughter
Your
because
daughter.
I have a father teacher, knew about it, she went to my room and then she brought a pack of biscuit and then gave it to me. And then she told me, like, please eat before you go. But I couldn't eat because I kept on crying. And then I just brought it in our house at home. But until now, I still have the
Oh,
That
don't eat it.
biscuit.
Don't try. Don't try to eat
have
it.
that until now. The biscuit.
It's already
thing.
12 years
Funny.
old. It's already 12 years old. so-
That's also one thing, you know. Our students give us a lot of gifts, right? And many of us, I think it's not just us, many other ESL teachers out there keep those things like Ray's biscuit from her student
true,
daughter,
it's true.
or the letters, or the face packs, what's the Korean
yes.
face masks, BB creams, makeup, all those things. So we keep them. So if those are like makeup stuff, so we use them, and then we don't throw away the
true.
packaging
It's
or the
true.
thing itself. So we have lots of boxes of memorabilia from our students. So the students out there, your teachers are keeping the stuff that you're giving them because they
true.
are
It's
precious,
true.
right? All right. Now let's just take a trip down memory lane a little bit. What do you think started the ESL industry in the Philippines, or how did it start in Cebu? Let's just start with in Cebu because we can't really speak for the entire country. But in Cebu, when and how did the ESL industry start?
Well, Cebu actually is very famous for the golf. We have golf clubs here in Cebu.
Okay.
And they're very famous with Japanese nationals. So they come here they come here. But then maybe they brought their family here, okay, to spend time here in the Philippines, and they maybe they realized that it's very hard for them to, it's very hard for them to communicate with the locals. So they started with the tutorial. Yes, and I remembered because it was in 2001 the first ESL school actually opened here in Cebu. Okay, that was
2001.
2001. Yes,
Okay.
and I think it's owned by a Japanese national.
I thought Korean started the ESL.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no.
what I thought.
Japanese.
No, it's Japanese. Yes, that was in 2001, and then it was like a hit actually. So in 2003, another two ESL schools opened, and they're both owned by Koreans, Korean nationals.
Okay, I
Yes.
get it.
So one in Mactan, in Lapu City, and another one here in Cebu.
In Cebu
so
City.
in Cebu City, there are two pioneers, two ESL schools. One owned by Japanese, and the other one is owned by Korean.
So in short, the Japanese started it all
The
here in
Japanese
Cebu.
started- Yes.
Wow. Yeah,
Wow.
Yes.
First time to know it.
So
I really thought,
thought it's
that's
Korean.
Koreans.
That's what I thought too.
That's what I thought too. Because, back in the days, I actually like an instructor for TOEIC. Okay, and when I thought that TOEIC actually was started by the Koreans, because when I joined the company, the Korean school, is one of the requirements to pass the TOEIC exam. So I thought that TOEIC is a Korean English exam,
Standard,
standard
yeah.
exam, yes, right? So, but then when I teach TOEIC, and of course I have to dig the history about TOEIC. It is actually like it started from a Japanese. Yes, by a Japanese. Yes.
Now we know.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
Muse.
you.
Yes. So they brought it here first. The first the first institution that opened here in Cebu. Okay. They taught TOEIC.
So now, because all right, that's a misconception that is already gone now. So Japanese started it.
Japanese
Speaking
started
of that, misconceptions, what are the misconceptions about this industry, especially to those that are not familiar with ESL? Because there are still a lot out there, a lot of Cebuanos that are not familiar with the ESL industry.
In my case, because I always hear this one since before, that the ESL industry is not, or being an ESL teacher is not a stable job.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Yeah,
That's
but
what they say.
hey,
Look at us now.
been 12 years. I've been more than 12 years, so we're still fine.
Yes.
So I think ESL job, not I think, but I'm very, very sure that ESL job is a stable job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And same with other jobs. You always start small.
True.
Right.
Yes.
You never start. Imagine you're a fresh graduate and then you join a company. Do you expect that company to pay you a lot in a month? Right.
True.
Same with this industry. Like any other companies, we start small and then gradually work our way up. And there you have it. So, guys, this is as stable as other jobs.
True.
It's true.
Right. So,
Yes.
you mentioned about government, right? So, what did the government label this industry as? Is it part of education or tourism? I'm not really. I'm not really
Actually,
sure.
in because this is like tutorial, right? So they consider this one as education.
Ah.
But just recently, the Department of Tourism tried to partnered with ESL industry to help also the tourism.
So it's a joint project between tourism and education.
True. And then when before that, Testa also joined, right? But when this industry started, I heard that there was no Testa yet. And then later on,
Yeah. From what I learned, actually is like ESL industry is actually like first with the tourism tourism
Department.
side. Yes, tourism department. That's the first thing I know. Okay, but then when TESDA came, because TESDA actually just I think it started in 2010, 20 something like that, 2010,
Yeah,
2011
just
something.
new.
Yeah, just recent, maybe like 10 years ago.
10 years, yeah.
10 years ago, 10 or 12 years ago. So TESDA was so, because they actually have seen the industry is getting bigger and bigger, okay, and they want to regulate it. So that's why TESDA came. Yes, and when TESDA came, then TSL has become part of the education department.
So I remember Ray mentioning a while ago that 2009 was the year that the ESL industry boomed,
It's
right?
true.
And then 2010 TESDA came to regulate everything. So with the boom of, when we say boom, there are a lot of students coming in. How did the institutions or school cope up with the demand? I mean, in your knowledge, based on your knowledge.
Well, there are so many. There's so many institutions in Cebu. Actually, like,
Yeah, a
if
lot.
because like in 2001 it started just in 2001, just only one institution
Yes, a school.
established here in Cebu. Then 2003 came another two, but then when I started 2004, there has been many already. Right, so and of course they're Koreans, so you can count by your fingers with how many Japanese institutions are here in Cebu, but for Koreans,
Yeah.
so many.
That's why I thought Koreans started
Started, yeah.
this industry. Because everywhere I go, or every institution I go or I apply for, they're always owned by Koreans.
Koreans is
The students are Koreans, and even slowly other nationalities came. The Taiwanese, the Chinese, even the Russians came in. The Westerners, some of the Westerners came in as well. But why do you think that there are only like a few Japanese institutions, though? I mean, they started it, so why didn't they?
I have got to answer that because I've got to answer that.
actually, I don't know.
Go ahead, Miss Liza. We're both looking at you.
Because Japanese started the ESL institution here in Cebu, right? And you know how innovative Japanese are.
Yeah.
Okay, you know how advanced Japanese are. They started the online classes. So,
Okay.
because the Japanese actually in Japan, of course, you're only given like a week or 2 weeks for a vacation, for a
vacation.
holiday, and
Very
then
short.
they don't have enough time to come to the Philippines and study, right? So they opened an online class already. But the online class that they opened was only for speaking, just only for conversation.
I think that's true, right? Because if you could still remember, most of the face-to-face students here in Cebu are mostly university students.
Yeah, university.
So not the working professionals.
Yeah.
Because they are very busy.
Yeah.
So that's why they opt to online classes.
Online classes.
Okay. Now
All
we
right.
know.
Yeah. Let's talk about memories.
Why are you laughing? Now we know.
Memories.
Because we've gained a lot of new knowledge from Miss Liza, actually.
Yeah.
So let's talk about memories. So what's your most memorable moments during those booming years around 2009, 10, 11, those times?
The friendship, of course.
Oh, true.
The friendship, yes, the friendship, and it's a good thing too, because like we started Facebook and
Friendster.
no, but I admit I started with Friendster. I admit I started with Friendster, but like when the
I
Koreans.
started Friendster too.
Oh, okay. So I'm just not the only guilty here. Okay, so Facebook actually is already like a fad here in Cebu. So it's very easy for us to like exchange messages with the student. So you continue with your friendship with them, right? And then of course with Facebook you share pictures and some other stuff. So you get to know, you get to update.
Yeah.
Yes, how they are now.
How they are, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing that we could really say, that this industry is very special. Because even if, for example, right now I had a student like 2009, but until now I still have communication with one of them. We sometimes send message, and sometimes he just suddenly chat me and just tell me that, oh, teacher, my English is not okay. Something like that.
It's just
sharing.
sharing.
So I always invite, like, you have to study again. But I think he's now in the military service in Korea. But yeah, I think that's the best thing that we could really say, that this industry is very special because of the friendship.
Yes. It's like even though we're stuck here in Cebu, but we get to feel other countries' culture through our students.
It's like you're traveling already to
Yes.
Korea or in Japan.
Yes.
Right?
Sampling their food because they sometimes bring snacks. Thank you, guys. Keep the snacks coming. Yeah, that's the sharing of culture, different culture.
Yes.
The travels and all that. So yeah, I agree. That's also one of my best memories, if not the best, right?
Yeah, and another thing I'm gonna add, because like I suck. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry with the language, but really I suck with history and geography. But because of ESL, I get to like study again.
Yeah.
Yes.
True, and actually ESL made me fell in love with the English language. Before, when I was in a university, though I am an education graduate and an English major, because I had no choice during that time, no other majors during that time. I wanted to be to take a biology major, but there was no biology major in that university. My university before, so I had to take the English major. And but I told myself that I will never speak in English because I am in the Philippines. I have to speak my language, trying to be, nationalistic. But because of the ES industry, I learned to love the English language. Yeah,
That's true.